Hi, I'm James Bussey. A little bit about myself. About 10 years ago, I started to notice some different health conditions that were cropping up out of nowhere that were unexplained, no family history. And one of the things that I started doing was, searching the internet to see if any other veterans have been experiencing the same things. And what I found is, on the amazing side, many of the vets from my former base are very, very ill. It's unbelievable. I started checking, and they're suffering health conditions at way above the national norm due to military contamination. And I've kind of made it my mission, along with partnering with Barry Law Firm, to bring this to light because this contamination that we're facing is basically our generation's Agent Orange. It's called a chemical by the name of PFAS. There are hundreds, probably thousands of variations of this chemical that we were exposed to. The first base that I served at was called Wurtsmith Air Force Base. It's in Oscoda, Michigan. It's right off Lake Huron, and it closed in 1992 due to what they call the BRAC, but we're finding out that it was more than likely closed due to the massive contamination issues. Just while I was there, I was caught in a massive discharge inside a hangar of AFFF firefighting foam, which many variations of PFAS are part of. Then I came to find out that the Air Force or the military in general doesn't have to follow any OSHA standards for disposal of chemicals. Basically what happens is they wash the stuff right off into the ground. And one of the things that I found are, 99.9% of all military bases are fed by wells. They're not connected to public water. So this stuff was entering the water table. I was drinking it. I was bathing in it. It's unbelievable how many avenues of contamination exposure there are. One of the first things that happened for me, I started losing feeling in my feet. And so when I went to my civilian doctor, they started testing me for diabetes, which there was no indication of any diabetes at all. Then the neuropathy started moving up my legs. And there were various other health conditions. In fact, the VA is currently treating me for about 13 different conditions. But again, this caused me to research, what veterans were experiencing. So I started a page called Veterans and Civilians Clean Water Alliance and began accumulating information to help other vets, prove their disabilities. Well, the one thing I've been telling people is, like Agent Orange, they're trying to hide this. So they're not going to recognize anything for this type of contamination until we start filing claims for health issues by the thousands. The Air Force actually tried to tell me that my contamination was probably due to use of everyday household items. And because I spoke at a restoration advisory board meeting by Zoom, and the Air Force representative asked to converse with me by email, which she stated that, they have no information or denying any information of contamination while we were there. And then, of course, again, my contamination issues probably arise from the household item use. Well, again, that is possible. Certain levels of exposure to PFAS and its derivatives can come from everyday household use. But the one thing that the VA tested me for, they tested me for 5 different variations of PFAS. My level for PFHXS was through the roof. It was stratospheric. And I've been out of the military since 1995. And this chemical only comes in AFFF foam. It doesn't appear in the use of everyday household items. So I'm telling veterans, don't ever give up. You need to fight this. A lot of them, use the DAV or VSO representatives, But what I'm finding, and myself in my 10 years of trying to fight this, I was getting nowhere with the DAV or a VSO. Yes, they're good for filing forms, but they have no knowledge of how to counteract the VA mumbo jumbo that they're going to throw at you in their denials. I'm telling everybody, you've got to have a good VA disability lawyer. And I kind of want to give a shout out to my lawyer, Stephanie Costello. Since Stephanie has taken over my case, she has been a complete bulldog, where, getting things done for me. And she makes it herself available to talk, which is something I never experienced before. She's been there for me every step of the way. So anybody that I can, I tell them about Barry Law Firm. Tell them, of course, you got to speak to an intake specialist. Tell them I referred you, and of course I tell them that every lawyer in the firm is excellent, but I also tell them that they can request to work with Stephanie, and I tell them my experiences with her. And again, I thank you and Barry Law Firm for giving me this opportunity to speak, and I hope that will this help veterans.
Tens of thousands of veterans have been exposed to harmful chemicals during their terms of service, and many never get the benefits they deserve. If you or someone you know was exposed to harmful chemicals during military service, call Barry Law.